Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, and we are delighted to welcome everyone that joined us online and offline at the Osaka University Convention Center, Osaka, Japan, for the opening ceremony of the symposium, especially our distinguished guests,
Professor Takao ONOYE, the Rector and Vice President of Osaka University, Professor Takao, Director and Vice President of Osaka University, and Dr. Kazushi KUSE, JST COI-NEXT Program Officer that joined us online today.
Additionally, we have Professor Yusli Wardiatno as the Educational Attaché from the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Japan, Ms. Diana Emila Sari Sutikno as the Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia in Osaka, Dr. Laksana Handoko, Chairman of Indonesia National Research and Innovation Agency BRIN, that joined us online and also represented here by Dr. Puji Lestari, Chairwoman of the Organization of Agriculture and Food from BRIN. Next, we have Professor Arif Satria, Rector of IPB University, that joined us through online and also represented here by Professor Drajat Martianto, Vice Rector of IPB University.
The symposium aims to solve food loss problems and discuss the social issue of food in Indonesia with the Food DX technology approach developed by the Osaka University team. This event is supported by the COI-NEXT program and also the Indonesian government through the Embassy of Republic of Indonesia in Japan.
Before we begin, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Zafira Akila.
And my name is Shafiq Shaikhul Akbar. For today, we will be the host of this event.
Before we begin, we would like to remind all participants about the rules for this symposium.
As for the online participants, we would like to ask you to not record the session, as the organizer will record the symposium and the recording will also be made available at a later date on our official website, which is handai-foodloss-en.otri.osaka-u.ac.jp.
For participants who are attending offline, please be reminded to turn off your smartphone or change it into vibration mode to ensure the success of this symposium.
The symposium will be mainly divided by 4 sessions. First, we would like to open the symposium with opening speeches from our distinguished guests, followed by keynote session, program introduction, and the afternoon session before we finally conclude the event.
Without further ado, let's move into the opening remarks by our distinguished guests. The first opening speech will be delivered by Professor Shojiro NISHIO, the President of Osaka University. Even though he is not unable to attend today with us, he warmly gave the video message for this event. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Shojiro NISHIO.
His Excellency Mr. HE.Heri Akhmadi, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to Japan. Dr. Kazushi KUSE, Program Officer of the Program on Open Innovation Platform for Industry Academia Co-Creation, known as COI-NEXT of the Japan Science and Technology Agency. Distinguished guests and participants, good morning. Selamat pagi. Ohayo gozaimasu. I am Shojiro NISHIO, President of Osaka University. I would like to welcome everyone to this international symposium today. I am pleased that speakers and participants have come from universities, the government, and the business community from Indonesia, Japan, and all over the world. This event focuses on topics related to food. It is one of the 3 priority fields the government of Indonesia and Osaka University agreed to strengthen cooperation during Ambassador Heri's visit to Osaka University in June 2021. As we struggle to overcome COVID-19, our efforts to develop strategies to contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals have continued. In fact, SDG target 12.3 calls for cutting global food waste in half per capita and reducing food losses by 2030. To achieve this goal, Osaka University established the Food Loss and Waste Innovative Hub. The hub aims to achieve two goals. First, to reduce food loss and waste, and second, to encourage an ethical mindset. To this end, we develop cutting-edge technology and employ interdisciplinary approaches. The hub involves and mobilizes food-related stakeholders from all sectors to co-create a world without food loss and waste. I'm hopeful that this symposium will also contribute to addressing this issue as the government, business, and academic sectors in both countries work together. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to touch on the partnership between Indonesia and Osaka University. At Osaka University, students from Indonesia make up the largest international student body among Southeast Asian countries and the third largest group overall. We have also had the opportunity to collaborate with Indonesian universities and companies on research and development projects in a wide range of fields. For instance, we recently had the privilege of establishing a memorandum of agreement on emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases between the University of Ireland and our Center for Infectious Disease Education and Research. I am confident that our extensive partnership will contribute to solving global challenges now and in the future. Finally, I would like to thank everyone for their hard work in making this important event possible. I wish you a successful symposium. I also look forward to hearing more from the Food Loss and Waste Innovative Hub by COI-NEXT on the effort to co-create a better world with Indonesian partners. Thank you very much for your attention. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Professor Shojiro Nishio. Next, we will listen to the opening speech by Professor Takao ONOYE, the Director and Vice President of Osaka University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Takao ONOYE.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Takao ONOYE, Executive Vice President for Research at Osaka University. I'm also serving the Director of Institute for Open and Transdisciplinary Research Initiatives, we call OTRI. On behalf of the hosting institute, I'd like to welcome all of you to the International Symposium of Food Loss and Waste Reduction Innovation Hub of JST Next Project, COI-NEXT project. This symposium is co-organized between the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia and Osaka University. The OTRI was established in January 2017, 5 years ago, in reference to the recent diversification of academic field and the complication of social issues. We need to form a project team in the interdisciplinary field involving researchers from multiple aspects beyond the boundary of organization, society, and nationality. Now we have 14 research domains in this institute, including the Industrial Biotechnology Initiative Division, led by Professor Eiichiro FUKUSAKI, the main organizer of this symposium and the leader of the Innovation Hub. The division mainly treats food from the engineering aspect. Needless to say, the food is the most important portion for human beings for our life. This COI-NEXT hub tries to facilitate innovative technologies covering all stages of the food, production, transportation, processing, and consuming. Also, this hub aims to raise social awareness of the modern food culture by coordinating education programs. I am sure that 10 years activities of this innovation hub can reduce food loss and waste, and so changing our life. I hope the content of this symposium gives great values to all the attendees. Finally, I'd like to thank all invited speakers, participants, and organizers, including our food guru, Professor Fukusaki, and let us enjoy today. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Professor Takao ONOYE. Lastly, we will hear the opening speech by Dr. Kazushi KUSE as the Program Officer of JST COI-NEXT. He will deliver his speech online through Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Kazushi KUSE.
Good morning. My name is Kazushi KUSE, a Program Officer of COI-NEXT co-creation area. And first of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity of a talk at this symposium. At the same time, very sorry, I couldn't go there on site speech, but I'm very excited to explain what's happening in this program initiative. Because COI-NEXT, this is a Center of Innovation. Next, this program was started, initiative was started year 2020. We already 12 projects ongoing, and including this team, food loss reduction team. And by the way, food loss reduction is a very, very important subject for overall worldwide. This is a worldwide issue now. And this program, a little bit, I talked about that this COI-NEXT initiative itself. COI-NEXT is one of the most important initiatives for Japan to become more innovative for society by seriously and tightly co-creating beyond the boundary of organizations and industries and countries. So this kind of symposium, very, very important to become beyond the country. Now is all the team in Japan, in Indonesia. We are together. We need to work tightly together. And this chart is, sorry, a little bit busy. One of our characteristics of this COI-NEXT, we are one method called backcasting. Probably the most of you are already using this method, backcasting, because recently to make some innovative work, the backcasting is one of the most strong method, I believe. So usually in academia, even in industry in Japan, is starting from these technologies. That means the kind of a forecasting approach that we are trying to, search what kind of the use and the needs over these technology in the future or in the near future. But this forecasting approach is very, very limited. So now is starting from what we are trying to aim in the future. What's a change? What's a society in the year 2030 or year 2050? What happening in the worldwide? So in order to do that, diversity and inclusion is very important. The diverse member need to discuss very, very frankly and very, very seriously about the future, what happening in the future. And then from the future of our society, we can backcast. In order to realize those kind of future of a society, now we need to, what we need to do in the next step. What's this team? And then what our current strengths, including technologies and people and experience and diverse members. We need to consider what's the concrete plan to realize the next target and future vision. That approach is very different from forecasting. But again, just using backcasting doesn't work. That's a combination of backcasting and forecasting, backcasting, forecasting. I believe that this team already have did the good work on this backcasting session a couple of times. And through, again, this program started the year 2020, already 2 years and finished. And we are working, again, 12 sites is ongoing, including the 7 full scope sites. Full scope means that 10 years, commitment to realize the future vision. And adding the 5 the short-term types of projects. That's just 2 years, including this team, food loss reduction team in Osaka University. But these short-term types of projects will be evaluated 1 year later to be promoted to full year, full scope vision. So again, about the 2 years this COI-NEXT activities, I and also 10 advisors got a lot of experience and feelings about this program. Again, this program is a very, very important initiative, the program for Japan and worldwide to solve the worldwide issue. And but these the 4 factors are very important to realize that actually to lead the worldwide global initiative in the worldwide. One is diversity. So again, in order to make create, we need to sometimes is we need to forget the common sense and actual current work and experiences. Again, what happening in the future, 10 years ago and 20 years ago, 30 years ago, in order to discuss these types of things and diversity of our members is very, very important. So diversity of gender, diversity of nationality, age, occupation, skill, experiences, and professions. So diversity, the most important factor. And the second one is the inclusion. Sometimes just at the beginning, each project, each team is involved a lot of our members, diverse members, But after that, the actually just a small set of people just reading the project. That kind of situation does not work. The all time, the team needs to involve all the members from the worldwide, from the nationwide, the beyond the beyond the boundary of organization and the countries and the industries. And the third one is agility. So this is one of the characteristics of these days, and a lot of the unexpected situation happening, the major changes happening. So this in sometime in the society, sometime in the infrastructure, sometime in the technology itself. But at that time, is that the team need to respond dynamically and flexibility to these major changes and unexpected situations. That's agility. The last one is leadership. Not just the leadership of project leader, this side of Fukusaki-san, but also all the members need to make a leadership to realize in the future vision from this location, this area, this team. So this leadership is very, very important. As a result, the team could establish the world leading team. And also many strong leaders will be grown up. That's the whole factor is very important. And again, this team already realized, followed these the whole success factors. Of course, the Fukusaki-san, the project leader of this team, has a very strong leadership, as well as Ida-san, the sub-project leader. So again, the team already made a couple of vision making session and backcasting sessions. So today's symposium is the one also very important to discuss in the near future and the plan and the strategy of this team. How we can solve food loss issue. That again, this is a big issue with Indonesia teams. So again, thank you very much for inviting me to this symposium. I really hope this team will continue to be active, and the team will be promoted to a full-scale model. Again, the 10 years types of model. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Kazushi KUSE. And with that speech, we officially open the symposium event. And now we will proceed to our next event, which is the keynote speeches from our distinguished speakers. In this session, we will have video message from His Excellency Heri Akhmadi, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to Japan, Dr. Laksana Handoko and Dr. Puji Lestari from BRIN, Professor Arif Satria and Professor Drajat Martianto from IPB University, and Professor Roini Wirahadikusuma from ITB with a video message. Before we begin, I would like to welcome Dr. Sastia Prama Putri as our moderator for this keynote session. Dr. Sastia, the time is yours.
A very good morning, everyone. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Sastia from the Graduate School of Engineering, Osaka University, and I will act as your moderator today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning, ohayo gozaimasu. and I would like to now start the keynote session. So we are very honored to welcome distinguished speakers as well as distinguished guests who come all the way from Indonesia. This is probably the first time Japan recently opened the border again. We are very honored to welcome our distinguished guests who are here via the video message, online presence, as well as physically present today. Konjen Dayana has also joined us through Zoom, and Professor Yusli Wardiatno from the Education Attaché from the Indonesian Embassy as a representative of Ambassador Heri is also here today. Dr. Puji Lestari as a representative of Dr. Handoko from BRIN is here with us today, and Professor Drajat Martianto, who is a representative of Professor Arif Satria, Rector of IPB University. Welcome to Osaka University. And I would like to greet Professor ONOYE and also Professor Kawahara, Vice Rectors of Osaka University, as well as the project leader of the COI-NEXT Symposium. So now, without further ado, we would like to listen to the video message presented by His Excellency, Mr. Heri Akhmadi, Ambassador of Republic Indonesia for Japan. Please.
Honorable Professor Shojiro NISHIO, President of Osaka University, the Honorable Dr. Laksana Handoko, Chairman of Indonesia National Research and Innovation Agency, or BRIN, Consul General of Republic Indonesia in Osaka, Ibu Diana Sutekno, distinguished speakers of today's symposium, all esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen, greeting and good morning to all of us. It is my great pleasure to address all of you at the Food Loss and Waste Reduction Hub International Symposium. Today, we are gathering to discuss one of the most important topics in the life, which is food. Food security is a critical issue pertaining to global population, with the world population estimated to increase by 3 billion people within the next 30 years. Current global food inequities are on course to worsen. The situation is even more depressed by disrupted supply chains due to the war in Ukraine. Distinguished speakers and participants, here are some facts and numbers about hunger and nutrition according to the United Nations. 1. The prevalence of undernutrition climbed to around 9.9% in 2020 from 8.4% a year earlier. 2. Of the total number of undernourished people in 2020, which is 768 million people, 418 million live in Asia. 282 million live in Africa, and 60 million live in Latin America and the Caribbean. Around 66 million people may still face hunger in 2030, in part due to lasting effect of the COVID-19 pandemic and global food security and many other factors. While the worry about the sustainability of the food availability, some of us might not be clearly aware how we lose and waste too much food in our life. Yes, the world is facing a very serious problem, that is food loss and waste. Across global food system, food loss and waste is a widespread issue, posing a challenge to food security, food safety, and the economy and environmental sustainability. No accurate estimate of the extent of the food loss and waste are available, but studies indicate that food loss and waste is roughly 30% of all food globally. This amounts to 1.3 billion tons per year. This also means that huge amount of the resources used in the food production are wasted. Not to mention the greenhouse gas emission caused by it. Inger Anderson, the Executive Director of United Nations Environmental Program, says that if food loss and waste were a country, it would be the third biggest sources of the greenhouse gas emission. Distinguished speakers and participants, food waste also burden waste management system, making it the major contributor to the triple crisis of the climate change, nature and biodiversity loss, and pollution and waste. This is why Sustainable Development Goal 12.3 aims to have half food waste, reduce food loss by 2030. And today's symposium is timely and important initiative for the survival of our planet. Food is lost or wasted throughout the supply chains from initial agricultural production down to the final household consumption. In the medium and high-income countries, food is to a significant extent wasted in the consumption stage, meaning that it is discarded even if it is still edible for human consumption. Significant losses also occur early in the food supply chains in the industrialized region. In low-income countries, food is lost mostly during the early and middle stage of the food supply chains. Much less food is wasted in the consumer level. According to FAO, on the per capita basis, in general, much more food is wasted in the industrialized world than in developed countries. Data in 2019 from the website of Our World's Data shows similar condition as what FAO already reported. For example, food waste Denmark, USA, and Greece are 132, 138, and 175 kilograms per capita respectively, whilst lost waste in Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Argentina are 121, 84, and 116 kilograms per capita respectively. Distinguished speakers and participants, as the representative of Indonesia in Japan, Indonesian Embassy has been bridging collaboration between Indonesia and Japanese university covering several fields, including the field of food and biotechnologies. Today's symposium is the implementation of the letter of intent signed between Indonesian Embassy and Osaka University. I do really hope that by involving three parties today, namely academia, private sector, and governments, the meeting and discussion through the symposium would lead to new findings in innovation and technology for reducing food loss and waste. For Indonesia and other developing countries, new technology is needed to improve cold chain system so the logistics of agriculture and fishery product can keep the product quality, which means reducing the food loss. In general, the food supply chains in the developing countries need to be strengthened by inter alia, encouraging small farmers to organize and to diversify and upscale their production and marketing. Investment in improving infrastructure, transportation, food industries, and packaging industry are also required. Both the public and private sectors have a role to play in achieving this. I wish you a productive and fruitful symposium. I thank you. Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you. we are very pleased to hear the keynote speech presented by Ambassador Heri from Tokyo. And Ambassador Heri has emphasized with the latest statistics regarding the importance on working together to solve the issue of food loss to achieve food security. We at Osaka University is always thankful for the strong support given by the ambassador and his staff to promote this noble mission. Next up, we have Dr. Handoko from the National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN, who will be delivering his keynote speech. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us today, but his keynote speech will be delivered by himself through video message and also by his representative for the presentation. Dr. Puji Lestari is also here with us to deliver the talk after the video message given by Dr. Handoko. Please.
His Excellency, the Ambassador of Republic Indonesia for Japan, and also my colleague, Bapak Heri Akhmadi, the President of Osaka University, Professor NISHIO, Rector of IPB University, Prof. Arif Satria, Rector of ITB, Prof. Raini Wirahadi Kusuma, and also the Consulate General of KJRI Osaka, Program Officer of JST, and host of the event and principal investigator of COI-NEXT project, Professor Eiichiro FUKUSAKI, and all participants from academia and industries in Japan. A very good morning for all of you from Jakarta. It is a great pleasure for me to attend this prestigious event of COI-NEXT by JST International Symposium at Osaka University, even though unfortunately I can only present virtually. I wish I could enjoy the sunny and beautiful Osaka, and I hope participants attending in person will also have the opportunity to enjoy the city. After around 2 years of offline events, for those attending online, this event will certainly provide us with much benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to introduce our new agency, Badan Riset dan Inovasi Nasional, or National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN. BRIN is quite a new agency, a brand new agency, and we had just our first anniversary on last April. So, and BRIN is the integration of 74 research institutions and units across ministries and agencies in Indonesia formerly. After the integration of BRIN, we have 12 research organizations with 85 research centers belonging to those 12 research organizations covering all research fields. In general, BRIN has tasked to carry out research, development, assessment, and application to generate inventions and innovations in integrated manner. BRIN has always been and will still be in support of scientific events like the one we are having today in Osaka. Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather here to talk about one of the most important topics in our life recently, that is food. So we have been talking about food security, food sovereignty for a few decades recently. And the recent pandemic and also the current war between Russia and Ukraine also remind us even further that the availability of food is undoubtedly essential. While we worry about the sustainability of food availability, some of us might not be clearly aware how we lose and waste too much food in our life on the other hand. With that understanding in mind, I can tell without hesitation that today's topic is very, very timely, and food loss and waste is a serious global issue. About 5 billion tons of food is produced annually in the world, but 1/3 of it is discarded as the food waste. This is sad but very true. This is also the case in Indonesia. On one hand, we know that Indonesia is a country which is very rich in biodiversity, where food mainly comes from On the other hand, poverty and starvation remain a serious issue in some parts of our country in Indonesia. Admit that food loss remains a big concern in our country. This is also a serious issue that needs to be addressed. What can we do as scholars and also researchers? Research and innovation in this area would be highly impactful, so we need to find out ways to utilize our resources efficiently and more cost effectively. It is also evident that having abundant biodiversity resources does not guarantee the food security and also food sovereignty. The utilization of resources, in particular food, is a primary key, and this can be addressed through research done thoroughly and collaboratively with many global partners. Our organization in BRIN is committed to put efforts and funding on research and innovation in Indonesia to solve also this issue. And herewith, we are inviting all of you, and also we are encouraging each and every one of you to take part in this noble mission. I understand each and every one of you has your own respective expertise. However, the food issue, especially the ones related to loss and waste, is by no means a monodisciplinary issue. This issue involves many parties with different views, perspectives, and interests. Therefore, I do believe collaboration is a key to solve this problem, and only by working hand in hand among different people with different expertises will make us be able to tackle this issue successfully. Therefore, I would like to express my support to the plan of collaboration with Osaka University through COI-NEXT projects and fully support the ongoing plan of MOU establishment to facilitate this cooperation along with many other collaborations and various fields and scientific disciplines. I do hope the symposium on food loss reduction can bring us Indonesian scientists and also Japanese partners closer together in finding solutions for the issue of food loss. More details on what we have been working on and what we have established at BRIN will be elaborated more by our representative, Dr. Puji Lestari, who is attending the symposium in person as the chairman of one of our research organizations focusing on food and agriculture. I wish everyone a successful and fruitful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Handoko, who has already again emphasized the importance of this issue. And today we have with us Dr. Puji Lestari as his representative, who will be delivering his keynote talk by presentation. Dr. Puji, the time is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Sastia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Ohayo gozaimasu. I would like to thank first to Osaka University to give a BRIN representative for this opportunity to join this COI-NEXT symposium. Representing the BRIN chairman, I would like to deliver his talk about present status of food loss and waste in Indonesia, especially issues and challenges. As you know, actually, the magnitude of food loss and waste in Indonesia is very high. It reached almost 48 million tons per year, and with its impact to economic loss, and especially 2018 is almost 44% of waste production in Indonesia was food waste, and it is claimed Indonesia as the second largest food loss and waste producer country. And the impacts on only environmental but also social and economic impacts. Considering the environmental impact on food loss and waste, this greenhouse gas emission contribute the biggest to the global warming potential for these 20 years, and especially in the consumption stage out of 5 stages on the food supply chain is contribute to the biggest global warming potential. So as we also estimate that the waste generation is about 4.8 times greater than food loss generation. On the social impact of food loss and waste, also it is estimated it's not only on energy, but protein, other vitamins also considered for the deficiency of people in Indonesia. This is very important how we reduce this food loss and waste. On the economic impact also is more detailed that here is dominated by grains, especially food crops like rice, corn, and others, and most inefficiently processed food types are from vegetables. And this loss is also very high of the total domestic supply. And this food loss and waste occur in the field starting from pre-harvest. It's contributed by high insect pests and disease, also other abiotic stress. And in the harvest stage, it's inappropriate of harvesting technology also contribute to this food loss and waste. No matter how good, how is the superior on the genetic material or on the variety. Also, in timely harvesting, other pot shattering incident. In the post-harvest, it's also mostly contribute for this food loss, that the poor post-harvest treatment, including also management of storing grain affected by pests and inefficiency in food supply chain. Of course, here consumers also contribute highly based on the attitude and behavior. In addition to that, so that's why bioconversion of food waste to animal feed is very important. In Indonesia, we try to use the BSF, fly, black fly, so I'm not mistaken. So this contribute to convert of any food waste that can be function for animal feed. It's because it's very important that in Indonesia we import a lot of soybean meals for feed. So if we can use this BSF for conversion of food waste, so which can be beneficial. And Indonesia, as we know, that we have high diversity on genetic resources across the countries, and which have the local adaptation also highly tolerant to biotic and abiotic stress. So it is also the strength of this country to support this food loss and waste. And based on those, actually, the impact here is the situation that we are facing now. Lack of quality assurance, also the higher losses on post-harvest and inconsistent export performance. That here also how also as a problem root these challenges is we still in Indonesia have long supply chain and fresh food perishability, especially on vegetable and also special fruit, and lack of monitoring. This is why we have to promote research and innovation to be a solution, focus on supply chain simplification, institutionalization of post-harvest handling technology and traceability and monitoring system. And this is why very important here, how is we prevent, not for disposal. This way here with the system is very, low cost, how to reduce on the strategy of the food loss and waste. And so we identify some of the strategies how to reduce this, and BRIN is try to contribute in the future, but BRIN is very new here. So first is technology and innovation to tackle food loss and waste. Here first is how to produce, how to develop a new variety, resistant to any pest and disease, also with high yield, also with high rendement. The implementation of appropriate and new technologies. And the second is multi-stakeholder approach, how we have partnership between public and private sectors, including here farmers and also industry. This way, BRIN also the goal is how this technology could be adopted by user, including industries. And also how we empower a revolution in food waste recycling we could use this nutrient-rich fertilizer and food generating energy. This is the positive food waste. And then also how we raise the awareness of food waste and loss. It is here, universities could well engage each other also together with research organization in national and global level, and how we have raised activities instead like today, what we have organized. So this kind of education in any social media or to the activity is very important. And reducing emission here is to contribute how Indonesia could reduce this emission at the target of 41%. And next is not only that one, but the most important also the policies and regulation. It is very, better regulation, policy and incentive is contribute for this reduction of food loss and waste. And actually from the international meeting, Indonesia with the opportunities and challenges, we have to initiate, we have to do collaboration on research and innovation. Because the challenges of economic and also how in the environmental aspect, everything, this one is necessary that we have collaboration with the international level. In this case, like Indonesia, BRIN, IPB University with Osaka University, that's why today we try to make concrete this collaboration. And with a little bit of detail that in the supply chain, in the national level, our practitioners, stakeholders, and partnership with private sector, and encourage effort to reduce food waste and in international level. It's just a few examples of BRIN research and innovation that have found, that have researched by previous organizations. And for example, for rice production, we have several management on pest and disease and machinery, also nutrient management, how to make a narrow gap between yield in the field and with the recommendation. So this one's one of the way how to reduce food loss. And not only that one, and then how we develop new variety, and we have a diverse genetic resources in Indonesia, especially we focus also on strategic food crops and also other like horticulture, is fruit and vegetables. So with the preference of any variety to meet with consumers. Here also kushikari, here in Indonesia we also use this one. So the first also how we make the superior genetic material. And in cacao also now we have a candidate to be released with the high yield. So it means that the high yield, so we can have at least just higher rendement and to narrow or to reduce the food loss. And in addition to that, BRIN, especially in the research organization on agriculture and food, we had research center on technology and food processing of food. So here we also develop freeze drying and applied in many commodities. And with the canned food technology that protect from microbial, physical, and chemical and photochemical reaction, also from a spoilage problem. This is very important. This is one of the way on technology for reduction of food loss. And also for cacao waste that can be a raw material to make complete feed silage ruminant. And with the several treatment, how the incubation, packaging, and formulation with the legume, any technology on any formulation, so how we can develop this feed silage. And on the appropriate technology also on the post-harvest pre-treatment, chemical pre-treatment and non-chemical pre-treatment also is proposed and is underway to do that. And with the hot water treatment here is effective to eradicate eggs of fruit flies. Also, this hot water treatment is also highly recommended practice at farmer due to its cost, effectiveness, and simplicity. And recently, actually, is control atmosphere storage, and we wish that Osaka could contribute, but recently the BRIN chairman hope we could develop control atmosphere storage. It's one of the technology with you, and post-harvest technology is collaboration with Osaka. I think that's few slides. And we have a coating technologies produced from CPO of oil palm. It's already applied in Indonesia, actually, with the user of a horticulture producer and trader. It's very happy to have this one. It's just so. Also, we have collaboration, right? In the process, the characterization of mango, what BRIN do and what Osaka do is complement each other, and especially the metabolic analysis. So this is that's all of the presentation of Chairman of BRIN, Laksana Handoko. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. A very excellent talk from Dr. Handoko and Dr. Puji, who have already given us many different kinds of information regarding the latest issues, challenges, as well as possible solutions, as well as an overview of the research highlights that Indonesian government, especially in BRIN, have been doing in order to solve this problem of food loss. So now I would like to welcome the next keynote speaker, which is Professor Arif Satria, who unfortunately cannot be joining us today, but he is giving us his talk live from Belgium, Europe. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. His Excellency Bapak Heri Akhmadi, Ambassador of Republic of Indonesia to Japan, Excellency Professor Shojiro NISHIO, President of Osaka University, Director of Vice President of Osaka University, JST COI-NEXT Program Officer, Chairman of Indonesia National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN, and Rector of ITB Bandung. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and great pleasure for me to attend this webinar organized by Osaka University in collaboration with the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia and supported by the Japanese Society of Agricultural, Biological, and Environmental Engineers and Scientists. At this very good occasion, allow me to share my perspective and my view on food loss and food waste reduction and how innovation can play an important role to achieve this target. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of food security and nutrition in the world in 2020 indicate that more than 750 million people face hunger, which was about 118 million higher than what happened in 2019. It is apparent that COVID-19 pandemic has worsened food insecurity in many countries in the world. Besides other factors that have been major causes, namely the ecosystem decline, climate change, conflicts, and unhealthy diet. While the global is struggling on the upstream side to improve food supply and quality, the downstream side is experiencing inefficiency characterized by high food loss and food waste. UNEP Food Waste Index Report 2021 estimates that about 931 million of food loss and food waste result from household, food service, and retail. And the highest contribution was made by household. Poor handling, inadequate transport or storage, lack of cold chain capacity, extreme weather conditions are factors along the supply chain that cause food loss. While food waste is mainly caused by consumer behavior, including limited knowledge how to store and process food at household. Not only social problems and economic inefficiency, food loss and food waste also contribute to global greenhouse gas emission. Action on reducing food loss and food waste means more food for all, less greenhouse gas emission, less pressure on environment, and increased productivity and economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, to be able to act meaningfully, we need to know where, what, how much, and why we are losing food resources. Therefore, reducing food loss and food waste require systemic plan and actions that touch all aspects in the food supply chain. It needs research, but more importantly, stronger partnership to enhance producer skill and capacity, particularly smallholders, to improve post-harvest facilities and infrastructure for logistics and transportation through public and private investment, as well as to promote behavioral change through learning and education. And technology and innovation are key to step up the fight against food loss and food waste. Innovative precision agriculture, digital post-harvest treatment, food system and remodeling market channels, offer huge potential to tackle the challenges of food loss and food waste. In this respect, IBB University has committed to develop innovation to reduce food loss and food waste along the supply chain. In production side, IBB continues to develop smart farming and post-handling innovation to increase in the efficiency, developing precision food logistics and produce biomaterials from waste, such as chitosan-based products from shrimp shell waste, helmet, bullet-proof vest, and fashion from palm oil waste. Our Faculty of Human Ecology developed Blue Economy Block, in which the activities to collect food waste resulted from plasma canteen managed by this faculty and used for feeding fish and producing biogas to support food security arboretum. We also build supportive and innovative ecosystem for smallholders through several programs, such as Agribusiness and Technology Park, One Village, One CEO program, and Sekolah Peternakan Rakyat that not only educate farmers to enhance productivity or efficiency and to create added value from their production, but also to connect them to market. All these efforts have been made through collaborations. It is obvious that we cannot work alone to solve this path. Universities, government and private sectors, NGO and community should hand in hand to reduce food loss and food waste, and in wider context to enhance global food security through learning and education, policy and innovation that promote sustainable production and consumption. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of IBB University, I would like to express special gratitude to all stakeholders, especially for the organizing committee who have been working hard to organize this event. I hope this event will be successful and be able to create further collaboration to step up effort to reduce food loss and food waste. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you very much, Rector of IPB University, Professor Arif Satria, and followed by esteemed food loss expert from Indonesia. We are very lucky to have Professor Drajat Martianto, who is here today and will give us a talk on the importance of food loss and waste reduction on food security in Indonesia. Professor Drajat, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Ibu Sastia. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to continue Professor Arif's speech. I will continue Professor Arif's speech by give you more data, more facts, information with regard to the situation of food security in Indonesia, and what are the food loss and waste contribution for the food security in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned before, that Indonesia have 270 population. It's a very big amount of population, and we have to prepare the food to all of them sufficiently. And fortunately, that our food availability in terms of or equivalent with energy and protein availability exceed the RDA. RDA is recommended dietary allowance for every people, 204,000 kilocalorie at the national level, and also 60 grams of protein, according to the Indonesian Food Balance Sheet data. And the good thing is also that in the last years, Indonesia also achieved a better food security situation, particularly from 2015 to 2019. But unfortunately, due to pandemic of COVID-19, our food security really hit by that situation, and our rank in the national and in the global food security index decreased again from 62 to 69. And among the big problems that we face due to this situation is in terms of availability, total availability, we have a good improvement, but unfortunately for the quality and safety, we have a very, very big problem, particularly for the availability of the vegetables, fruits, and animal food. That is actually, we produce sufficiently, but unfortunately, it is related to the food loss and waste. We lost so many amount of those commodities. Ladies and gentlemen, despite that Indonesia have a very good progress in food security nationally, the fact is 8 out of 100% of the people in Indonesia is consume calorie less than 70% the requirement, then it is categorized as undernourishment, undernourished. You know that according to Global Hunger Index, actually our situation is getting better several years ago, but now, because of some reasons, as already mentioned by our rector, it is getting increased slightly, but I think this is a signal that we have really have to what we call as steady, particularly to face the food crisis that it is already discussed widely recently. And then other problem is because of the food production is although it is increased, but it is not afforded by all of the people. We have big problems, another big problems for the Indonesian. Most of the people in Indonesia actually able to buy or able to afford the energy sufficient diet. But unfortunately, for the healthy diet, almost half of the people is very difficult to facing a very difficulties in afford it because the price of, let's say, animal food is sometimes 4 times or 10 times of the price of rice, and also the price of fruits and vegetables, which is very much important for the quality of Indonesian diet, is sometimes 3 to 6 times of the staple food. So this is among our challenges in food security in Indonesia. And that's why we are still facing what we call as a triple burden of nutrition problem. The first one is undernutrition, which is consisted of stunting, wasting, and also undernutrition. And then we face also overnutrition, and on the other hand, we're facing a big problem on the micronutrient deficiencies, particularly iron deficiencies, anemia. And as mentioned before, that Indonesia has 17,000 islands. It is a very large archipelagic country. And of course, the distribution, the transportation, the logistics of foods become very much difficult for the Indonesian, particularly because of the limitation of the facilities, the storage facilities, the cold storage, etc. And then that's why in some areas in Indonesia, we are facing what we call as vulnerable situation in food security. And as you can see in this figure, ladies and gentlemen, that most of Indonesian region, we call it district or kabupaten, actually enable to produce food to sufficient, particularly cereals, and of course also vegetables, fruit, and animal food. But cereals in this figure, we show you the cereals problem. It is most of the district is depend on the other producers in a different district. So again, the problem of transportation, the problem of logistics become very much serious. And then that's why, as I will show you, that the food loss and waste become a very serious big problem in Indonesia. And as it is already mentioned also previously, that almost one third of our food production, this is like a global situation, were gone as waste. So it is at every point of the food chain. We have calculated all of this. I was the one among the researchers for this. And it is already presented also previously, but that in line with the increase of our food production and our food availability, the food loss and waste also getting increased in the last 20 years. And if you look at this figure, you can see that there is changes in trend where the food waste is getting more important rather than food loss, which is indicate that there is a progress in the food loss technology, in the food production technology, and also packaging, handling, etc. Although the loss is still very big amount, but the one that we have to consider that the role of the food waste is very much increased, and of course, innovation in the technology to prevent food loss is very much important. But we have also to put the big consideration how to change the behavior. So behavioral changes, communication is become very much important in the future to make all of the people aware to reduce our food loss and particularly food waste. And we have already identified the major direct and indirect causes and drivers of food loss and waste in Indonesia. And among the very important is, of course, for the technological aspect, first is lack of implementation of good handling practices. And also, we face insufficient of quality of storage space, market quality standard that we still have problem, excess of food portion, particularly this is for which is contribute significantly for the food waste. Technology limitation in every aspect has already been presented by Ibu Puji a few minutes ago, etc., etc. So we have already identified this, and this is, I think, the area where we can discuss together, and we can join together, work hand in hand to conduct cooperation between public, private, and academia to conduct research. Of course, we have a very broad spectrum of research that we can do it. And then, ladies and gentlemen, our food loss and waste, actually, if we can reduce even only half of the food loss and waste, it is very much a big contribution to strengthen the food security and nutrition situation in Indonesia, because by reducing the half of 50% of food loss and waste, we can even reduce more than 50% of malnutrition problem in Indonesia. So we really do expect that we can again join together to solve this problem by conducting research, innovations, but not only in production technology, but also in the communication technology, how to find the effective technology to change the behavioral of people, particularly young people, which is become very much define what the food produce nowadays. And at the last, in my last speech, we have already identified 5 proposed actions to strengthen our food security through reduction of food loss and waste. The first one, as I mentioned before, behavioral change is very much important because it has become very affecting for the food waste, yeah, particularly as my rector mentioned in the household level. And then improving food system support, of course, to help the farmer, the small farmers by developing farmer corporation, for example, and then also providing infrastructure and facilities that support the efficiency of the food production process. That also will contribute to the reduction of food loss and waste. And the third is, of course, we have to strengthen the regulation and optimizing funding for the real need to real point, yeah, important point for the food loss reduction. And then number 4, the utilization of food loss and waste is, of course, also supposed to become priority, and it is already mentioned in detail by Ibu Puji. And then in the last point, The development of food loss and waste study and data collection to provide information that is make us to be able to make a plan comprehensively is also very much important. So it is important to us, all of us here who are joined in this symposium, to work together to identify what is really the problem and how we can solve the problem and how our institution able to contribute to solve the problem. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Professor Drajat, for your excellent talk and wrapped up with very powerful key message regarding the 5 proposed actions on how we can move forward to solve this issue. Thank you very much, Professor Drajat. Finally, our last keynote speaker, Professor Reni Wirahadikusuma, Rector of Institut Teknologi Bandung, who will deliver her speech on the issue of food loss. Please.
Dear Professor Fukusaki Sensei, distinguished guests and participants, hello everyone. I'm very honored to speak before you today at the Food Loss and Waste Reduction Hub International Symposium at Osaka University. I would like to address my highest appreciation to the organizing committee for this valuable event and all participants in the symposium for your commitment to exploring this very critical theme and providing novel insights into how we can tackle one of the most significant sustainability issues in the world, which is food loss and waste. Even though, unfortunately, I'm not able to come to Osaka in person, someday I will. I can assure you that this will not reduce the importance of this event for us, for ITB. Our present and future collaboration with Osaka is very, very important, and also for the sake of broader society in general is also considered very significant for ITB. Institut Teknologi Bandung, or ITB for short, has a very long and strong academic history regarding the issue of food loss and waste management. But not only this, we also are very concerned with the broader sustainability issues. So to provide a context, as one of the top universities in Indonesia, ITB has grown to be a robust university that serves more than 23,000 students, supported by over 1,400 highly qualified lecturers. ITB is located on 3 campuses. Now we have 3 campuses, all within the province of West Java, Indonesia. Of course, our main campus is in Ganesha, Campus Ganesha being the main campus, and the second campus is in Jatinangor, about an hour and a half drive from our main campus in Bandung, and the newest addition is Campus Cirebon. ITB consists of 12 faculties or schools, and we have over 100 research groups, 37 research centers, and some of them are very excellent research center, as well as we have 130 study programs, ranging, of course, from undergraduate and doctoral degrees. And to share our achievement, we are very happy that just recently we are ranked as the number 235th, in the world based on QS World Ranking University. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. So dear distinguished guests and participants, As I mentioned earlier, ITB is strongly concerned about tackling food loss and waste issues. I identified at least there are 3 faculties or schools that we think that they play specific roles in addressing this issue. One is the School of Life Sciences and Technology, or SETH, and then the second is Faculty of Civil and Environmental Engineering, and the third one is the Faculty of Industrial Technology, each with their expertise and research roadmaps. So in addition of those 3 faculties of school, researchers from other school or faculties and other research centers, they are also working on this area indirectly, such as mechanical engineering, IoT, sensor and automation, mathematical modeling, and regional planning, of course, in the broader context. But today I would like to take you for a closer look at the School of Life Sciences and Technology, or SETH, with which I understand Osaka University has built very rich academic collaborations, be they in the form of research or education through double degree program. At SETH, currently there are 10 study programs consisting of 6 bachelors, 3 masters, and 1 doctoral program. They are very strong in tackling this food loss program. We probably also would pay attention more on our agricultural engineering program. This program is designed to produce graduates that can solve complex agricultural problems, including those that relate to waste reduction at the farm level. And over the years, the program has accumulated so much knowledge through students' thesis, among others, through research on the use of biological agent, for example, black soldier fly, to convert agricultural and household food waste into nutrient-rich natural fertilizer and biopesticides. In the post-harvest technology program, a handful of our students they do work and research emphasizing in extending the shelf life of food and horticultural products. So extending the shelf life in order to reduce, again, the potential of waste. Technologies such as freeze drying, vacuum, edible coating, moisture absorber, and modified atmosphere packaging are among the innovations being studied currently. Another program is the bioengineering program. Students here try to add value to waste through valorization. I'm not very familiar with this, but I understand this is very advanced and very important. And biorefinery concepts resulting in quality products such as essential oils. So these engineering approaches to food loss and waste reduction are also supported by SETH's drive to advance sciences through the biology and microbiology program and postgraduate research. So everything is working together. So in addition to SETH, as I mentioned earlier, other schools also contributing to this issue. Faculty of Industrial Technology, for instance, they have the food technology program. They play an important role in developing ways to process raw agricultural commodities into processed food products that are rich in nutrients and longer shelf life, thus solving the classical agricultural commodity problem, which is bulk and perishable. And last but not least, the Faculty of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Our colleagues there have an environmental engineering program, also focusing on research in waste management, building installation that can reduce the amount of waste through sustainable approaches. So, ladies and gentlemen, from that brief explanation, it is very clear that my colleagues, ITB has a very strong interest and concern in this specific topic, and we are very, very committed to finding solutions through our resources. Of course, this is a very complex issue. ITB has to work together with as many partners as possible, including, of course, Osaka University. So we really hope that this collaboration can expand further, stronger, involving more of our colleagues and your colleagues, so that both universities can hand in hand address this global issue more vigorously. So everyone, you all have my full support. Finally, on behalf of Institut Teknologi Bandung, I would like to thank all the distinguished guests, speakers, participants, and all other parties that make this event happen. But very, very special thanks to Ibu Sastia Putri, ITB's alumni. We are very, very proud of her. So please enjoy the symposium. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm quite surprised at the end, a very nice speech given by Professor Reni, Rector of ITB. And with that, I would like to conclude this keynote speech. Thank you very much for having me. And I would like to give now the chairmanship to our MC, Mr. Shafiq. Thank you very much.
We would like to thank all the keynote speakers, His Excellency Ambassador Heri Akhmadi, Dr. Laksana Handoko, and Dr. Puji Lestari, Professor Arif Satria and Professor Drajat Martianto, Professor Reni Wirahadikusuma, and Dr. Sastia Prama Putri for the insightful discussion. Now, I would like to welcome the project leader of this program to explain about the COI-NEXT project, who initiate and lead the Food Loss and Waste Reduction Innovation Hub in Osaka University, Professor Eiichiro FUKUSAKI. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Eiichiro FUKUSAKI.
I'm Eiichiro FUKUSAKI, Osaka University. We have launched a research center hub to solve the problem of food loss and waste reduction from last year by the support of the Japan Science and Technology Agency, JST. Today, as a project leader, I will introduce our motivation and recent activity. According to the FAO report, about 1/3 of the world's food production is wasted. Such amount is enough food for 2 billion people. Resulted annual economic loss is around 80 trillion Japanese yen. On the other hand, the annual carbon dioxide emission from food loss is 3.6 billion tons. This is 8% of total global emission. We must recognize how important an environmental problem food loss is. Among the food loss, production loss, storage loss, processing loss, and distribution loss can be reduced by advanced technology. Furthermore, in order to reduce consumption loss, it's necessary to change the mindset of consumers. Our vision is realization of low food loss, ethical consumer society opened by Food DX. Our innovation hub is located in Osaka, Japan, but we are considering Indonesia as an important partner country. First, let me explain why Indonesia. Indonesia is one of the largest food loss countries in the world. At the same time, Indonesia is the largest producer of fruits in Southeast Asia. And annual production of fruits in Indonesia is around 90 million tons. The figure in the middle shows the breakdown of food loss. In Southeast Asia, storage, processing, and distribution losses are very high, with 44% of food wasted. In contrast, in developed countries, such as Japan, those food losses are only 18%. If Indonesia were to improve these losses to the level of Japan through technology innovation, it would reduce food losses by 26%. That means about 5 million tons of food loss can be reduced from fruits alone. This is equivalent to 0.3% of the world food loss. Its economic impact would be about 240 billion Japanese yen per year. Next, based on this 5 million ton reduction in food loss, I have backcasted a solution as a future vision. This project consists of 5 research and developmental projects. The first is a social science project, building a sustainable socio-economic system through ethical consumption. And 3 technology projects are rapid food function development of monitoring technology, development of smart data logger system, and zero waste recycling development and use of food material. The last is a humanity and social science project, development human resources for food solutions, and creating opportunities through interactive international education programs. In 2032, 10 years from now, we hope to develop the novel food supply chain and to reduce food loss from the current 33% to 18%. As a result of emphasizing diversity, more than 1/3 of the members are humanities researchers, and more than 1/3 are female researchers. In addition, since this is a long-term project spanning 10 years, the majority of the members are young researchers in their 30s and 40s. Okay, let me explain about each R&D task. R&D task 1 is to development of rapid monitoring technology for food functions. FUKUSAKI has already developed measuring system for the value of food function and freshness. We are now developing food gas metabolome technology to apply monitoring of food function and deterioration. Furthermore, we will develop real-time monitoring technology through collaborative research. R&D Task 2 is development of a smart data logger system. Task leader, Professor Hirose, is a leading expert in integrated electronics technology. Task 1 result will be integrated into Task 2 to generate food DX chip technology. In addition, in order to prevent food fake, we will attach an ultra-small tag to the food. Please look at the bottom left figure. This tiny piece is the world's smallest computer. By attaching this small computer tag to individual food, we are developing food security and safety technology that make the history of food completely visible. R&D Task 3 will deal the development and utilization of zero-waste recycling food material. In this task, we will develop a reversible freeze-drying technology that preserves and restores the original feature of foods. This technology realizes the cold chain. In addition, Professor Muranaka, leader of this task, plays a central role to make effective use of plant and microbial resources that have not been used so far. Zero meat project will be also considered. R&D Task 4 is building a sustainable socio-economic system through ethical consumption. A leader of this task, Professor Otsuki, is a leading expert in Asian developing economics. We will qualify the effects of the introduction of the cutting-edge technologies that are fruits of our project. Evaluation tactics is a multidimensional manner using an approach that integrated the humanity and sciences. In addition, we will understand the behavior change of producers and consumers due to the introduction of anti-fake technology in the foods supply chain. Furthermore, we will examine the prospects for ethical consumption and provide guidelines for building a sustainable socio-economic system. In the R&D Task 5, we will establish an interactive international education program for both students and adults from Japan and ASEAN to study together. In addition, we will develop human resources who can provide new food solutions that promote social transformation toward low food loss and ethical consumption. in order to achieve the vision of this hub, we will cuddle food, love food, bring up food, watch over food, and learn food. Osaka University will make a pioneering effort to realize this goal vision and create a society in which all stakeholders, for example, agricultural producers, storage, distributors, retailers, and consumers feel happy, are environmentally friendly, and are connected through the food cycle across national borders. Please encourage us to achieve our vision. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Professor Eiichiro FUKUSAKI, for the wonderful explanation. We hope that this program, this project, can become helpful to solve the food loss and waste problem, not only in Indonesia, but also all over the world.
With that introduction, we will move on to the lunch break session. I would like to remind everyone again that the next session will begin at 1:10 p.m. Once again, the next session will begin at 1:10 p.m. Therefore, to everyone that joined offline in the venue or online, please be back and be seated before 1:10 p.m.
For all speakers, lunch will be provided in the conference room 1A on the first floor. And for the participants, you may have your lunch in the space provided by the committee, or you also may visit the nearby cafeteria. Also, we provide the prayer room in the first floor of this building for guests in conference room 1B for men, and 1C for women. All of them are in the first floor. Also, we have a request for the on-site participants. We kindly ask all of us to be quiet in the lobby as interviews are being conducted on the second floor. That will be it for now, and I hope you have a nice break. Thank you.